Good morning, you guys. This last week, Jeff gave a great rendition of the Lord's Prayer, and I spoke on prayer. And I want to talk about prayer a little bit more today. But I'm going to go from Psalms 106. There's a line in my reading this week that really caught my attention. Now, Psalms 106 is much like the vision of Stephen as he's stoned, in that it's kind of a bit of a recounting of the Jewish history and all that God has done for them. And it talks, at one point, he talks about he rebuked the Red Sea, so it dried up on the spot. He paraded them right through, and no one so much as got wet feet. He saved them from a life of oppression, pried them loose from the grip of the enemy. So there we have a vision, and there's numerous more in here, of God saving the Israelites and standing up for them in impossible situations. The Red Sea parting, that's really impossible. But God did it. But then we go down, and it says what they did in return. They cast a metal bull calf at Horeb and worshipped the statue they made. They traded the glory for a cheap piece of sculpture, a grass-chewing bull. They forgot God, their very own Savior, who turned things around in Egypt, who created a world of wonders in the land of Ham, who gave that stunning performance at the Red Sea. So they're saying that they did these things. They created an idol. They totally blew God off. They threw him away after all these things he had done for them. And so, fed up, God decided to get rid of them. So you have here a really angry God. God who can part the Red Sea, God who can bring water out of a rock, God who created the universe is angry. That's quite a force. That's quite a force. It makes me pretty scared and nervous to think about the anger of God and how strong that is. He's going to destroy the Israelites. But over here you have the Israelites, who are a force in and of themselves. They're a huge people. They have been traveling. They have all of these animals. I mean, they're big. They're a big, big people. And they can kind of turn on a dime and like people or not like people, whatever. But in the middle, we have here what it says, and except for Moses, his chosen, he would have destroyed them, that is. And Moses stood in the gap and deflected God's anger. Deflected God's anger. I don't know about you, but it is hard for me to imagine being a shield between God's anger here and an entire people here, and just me as the shield in between, just me deflecting back God's anger, just me saying, no, God, I think you've got this wrong. Could you please reconsider? But Moses did that. Now, in Christian circles, we're told a lot to stand in the gap, and I don't know if we even really know what that means. Generally it's kind of a call to prayer, a call to help fix things, help make things better, maybe tithe more, whatever it is. But, standing in the gap to me never really seemed like, I don't know, being on either side of the walls of the Grand Canyon and having them crushing in towards me. But that's kind of what this seems like. But Moses did it, and he's called to do it, and we are called to do it. We are called to stand in the gap, even when neither side asks us to, when we see just horrible difficulties, people whose relationships seem like they can't be fixed, political issues, natural disasters, whatever it is. We're called to stand in the gap and call upon God to save. So go be a gap stander.